Hello, my name is Jason Kosman, and I'm a Microsoft Dynamics CRM MVP of 2016. Today, we're actually going to go ahead and talk about editable grids. This is something that was introduced in the Dynamics 365, and with Dynamics 365, we finally received editable grids. This is something that almost all new customers in Microsoft CRM want, and they find that they can't get once they start using the application. There have been several third-party products and offerings for editable grids over the years, but now we finally have Microsoft's take on them baked in the Dynamics 365 the way they've wanted it. So we're actually going to go ahead and look at them in three areas today. First, we need to enable the editable grids control for a specific entity. We'll use it on the lead entity today. Secondly, we're going to configure it for the home grid and talk about how you do it for a subgrid. And third, we're actually going to go ahead and walk through the properties of the editable grid itself. Now, let's actually go ahead and get started. So what you're seeing on the screen is a new Dynamics 365 org spun up online. As you can see from it, all of the solutions that I have, everything that's possible with an org for trial. This is everything out of the box. I've created a solution, so let's go ahead and open that and enable editing grids. We're going to go ahead and actually click on the lead entity itself now. And then realistically, when this actually opens, this is something that should look familiar to anybody that's used a previous version of Dynamics CRM. But now the only difference here is in 365 is that you actually get an additional tab called Controls. Now this Controls tab is something that's brand new. When you go here by default, you'll see that it actually has read-only grid by default. Now, overall, I think this is very exciting to actually have a Controls tab. I'm not sure where Microsoft's going to take it, but I'm very intrigued. Now, let's actually go ahead and click Add Control and see what we have. We have three choices. First one being Calendar Control, second one being Editable Grid, and third one being Timeline Control. So we're actually going to be working on Editable Grid today. I'll do additional videos for the other two, but go ahead and select Add. So now, when we click Add, we actually have the Editable Grid property showing below. Now, let's actually go ahead and stop here. We're going to save and publish. But before I do that, this is something that's a common mistake. You can see by default there's actually two options here, two different controls, and we actually have radio buttons for each different experience, whether it's the web, the phone, or the tablet for all of our users. Now, we can see that the CRM read-only grid is used. It's not until we actually go ahead and click Editable Grids will Editable Grids be applicable for this entity. So this is something that gets forgotten quite a bit, and I do see questions about it. So we'll click Save. We're going to go ahead and publish now. Alright, let's go back to CRM and actually go to the leads entity. So, now that we're in the lead entity, there's a couple things that look a little bit different right away. Number one, there's a group by. Didn't have a group by before. We can actually select what fields in the actual view we want to group by. So we can group by name, group by any of the fields. And this is just another slicer for you to view the data. If we want to click into a record, we can actually start editing right away. So I don't think it's information at all. Follow up with tools regarding our promotion. So when we click out, it actually saves right away. We can click save and it actually will save the record, which is fantastic. This is editable grids in a very simplistic look. Now let's actually go back and take a look at the different properties of editable grids themselves. Got an error there, of course. So let's go back to leads. Let's go to controls. And I don't know if you noticed, but when we actually saved and published the editable grid here, it actually came with an events tab now, popped up as well. Now this is actually allowing you to add JavaScript events onto the save events for the editable grid. It's handy. It's nice to be able to see it at a global level. So we're going to go ahead and actually look at the different properties now. So when we click on editable grids, we see the tab down bottom gets shown. So we have three main properties. Number one, add lookup to grid view, nested grid parent ID. It's definitely worth noting here that the nested grid is only available in mobile view experience. And the last but not least is group by column, which I kind of highlighted before. So first, by adding a lookup control, it allows you to filter your view you're looking at. For example, if it was a subgrid that we could pass in additional filters to like any view that only like a view that only shows leads pertaining to one specific customer. That would allow us to add that filter to that view without having to actually have that filter specified on the view itself. So it's another layer of filtering that we're able to add on afterwards. It's actually really nice to have that. It is worth noting that when you do this, and I'll bring it up, you select which view it is, and then you would select which columns. In my case, I don't have a view that has an applicable column for this, but when you actually do that, you can do it differently by each view. So it gives a little bit more flexibility there. The second property is the nested grid parent ID. It really is only applicable for the mobile view, but really it allows you to specify how that relationship works. The third property is the group by. This is essentially another slicer option that I kind of showed off earlier in regards to looking at how you view the data in that grid. So what we've just done together is be able to enable this for the home view, but it's the first step in enabling it for subgrids on the form as well. If you wanted to do it for a subgrid on the form, you would first go through this and enable it on the entity, and then you would simply follow the same instructions when you actually open up the form, go to the subgrid properties, you would see the control tab right there. You would add the editable grid or enable it through clicking on the proper radio button, and then from there you could actually modify your properties if applicable. I kind of hope you found this useful. It's something that there's a lot of talk about right now in Dynamics 365. It's one of the big features that certainly has been discussed at great length for what Microsoft brought to the table with this update. And it is really nice to finally have it baked in. I'm very excited about that. No questions there. So I think customers all around the world will be excited to be have this functionality finally, and have some flexibility on any of the entities that they're using, whether it's their own custom solution or out of the box entities. So overall, I think it's a great addition to the product, and I hope you found this useful. Thank you very much for your time, and have a great day.